For centuries, royal bloodlines have ruled the world from behind velvet curtains. But beneath the crowns, silks, and ceremony lie hidden truths, stories buried, rewritten, or erased. Today, we open the vault of power and uncover 100 royal secrets the world was never meant to know. Chapter 1. They said the British crown never hides anything. But one secret file reveals King George V ordered the cover-up of his cousin's brutal execution in Russia. To avoid public anger, the royal archives buried letters for decades, only releasing fragments long after both empires fell. History books softened it, calling it political distance. But the truth? The British royals turned their backs on family to keep their throne safe. Chapter 2. Queen Elizabeth I's makeup was. Chapter 3. In Versailles, perfumes weren't luxury, they were camouflage. Historians uncovered that the palace stank so badly due to no plumbing, the nobles drowned in fragrance to hide decay. Even the Sun King himself had perfumers work daily to mask the odor. The royal scent wasn't just charm, it was survival in a palace built on filth and denial. Chapter 4. King Henry VIII's armor reveals a dark truth. Scans of his battle gear show extra-wide waist measurements that grew each decade. Beneath royal pride was a body collapsing from diabetes and infection. Science explains his rage and madness. Blood sugar spikes drove his cruelty. His health shaped his empire more than any war did. Chapter 5. Marie Antoinette's "let them eat cake" wasn't real. Linguistic studies prove no record of her ever saying it. The phrase was crafted by revolutionaries to ignite anger. Her real words were softer, concerned about the poor. But propaganda worked better than truth, and science of memory shows how repetition rewrote history. The lie became immortal. Chapter 6. The Forbidden City had secret rooms designed to amplify whispers. Acoustic engineers found that its halls were shaped to carry voices in strange echoes, allowing spies to hear private royal talks. The emperors believed it divine architecture. In reality, it was early sound engineering, centuries before microphones existed. Power always listened, even through walls. Chapter 7. Royal bloodlines aren't as pure as claimed. Genetic analysis of European dynasties shows unexpected DNA markers, some linking to servants and commoners. Centuries of secrecy tried to hide it, but science doesn't lie. The idea of divine blood collapses under the microscope. Behind the crown's shine is just another strand of flawed humanity. Chapter 8. In ancient Egypt, pharaohs used honey as royal currency. Archaeologists found sealed jars still edible after 3,000 years. Science confirms honey's chemical stability prevents decay. It wasn't just food, it symbolized eternal life. The sweet gold of the Nile became the pharaoh's secret to immortality, both literal and spiritual. Chapter 9. Queen Victoria's mourning never ended. When Prince Albert died, she wore black for 40 years. But recent studies on her journals show an obsession. Rituals, preserved hair, letters daily to a ghost. Psychologists would call it complicated grief. Her empire advanced, yet its queen was trapped in time, her crown weighed by memory. Chapter 10. Hidden beneath the Kremlin lies a golden chamber sealed for centuries. Soviet excavations uncovered fragments believed to be Ivan the Terrible's lost treasury. Scientists identified metals not native to Russia, possibly brought from Byzantine trade. The empire's madness was built on stolen brilliance. Every jewel reflected a secret deal carved in blood and power. Chapter 11. King Tut's tomb wasn't just cursed, it was engineered. Modern scans reveal mercury traces in the walls, toxic when disturbed. Ancient Egyptians likely designed it to protect the boy king's rest, not through magic, but chemistry. The curse that killed explorers was real, just scientific. The ancients mixed faith and formula long before science had a name. Chapter 12. Behind the grandeur of the Romanovs was a dark addiction: diamonds. Records show they traded secret Arctic rights for rare stones. The gems glowed faintly under UV light, containing radioactive minerals. Scientists say prolonged exposure caused illness within the royal line. The sparkle that defined their legacy also quietly destroyed them. Chapter 13. King Louis XIV's glowing skin came from alchemy. Court documents mention a potion called aurum vitae, believed to be liquid gold. Modern testing found traces of mercury and arsenic in preserved samples. The Sun King was literally poisoning himself to shine brighter. His radiance was a chemical illusion with a deadly price. Chapter 14. The British Crown once owned a diamond so cursed it caused 3 royal deaths, the Koh-i-Noor. Geologists confirmed it came from a mine tied to slave labor and rebellion. Each royal who wore it faced tragedy until it was locked away. Science explains nothing supernatural, but psychology reveals power amplifies fear. The diamond's weight is history's guilt. Chapter 15. Japan's imperial family keeps a mirror no outsider has seen for 1,000 years. Legends say it holds the spirit of the sun goddess. Scientists using ground-penetrating radar found electromagnetic interference near its chamber. Coincidence or ancient design? The mystery endures, untouched by time or technology. Some secrets aren't meant to be measured. Chapter 16. When Catherine the Great died, her servants found blue stains on her fingertips. Chemical tests on preserved clothing show traces of cobalt, used in her favorite glassware. Long exposure to the pigment caused metal poisoning. The empress who modernized Russia was undone by her own elegance. Beauty killed in silence. Chapter 17. In medieval England, the royal mint secretly diluted silver coins to fund wars. Historians uncovered smelting ledgers showing altered ratios. It wasn't just greed, it was survival math. By manipulating currency, kings fought battles without raising taxes. Economics became alchemy, turning numbers into weapons. Chapter 18. Napoleon's hair still holds arsenic. Tests on preserved strands reveal chronic poisoning, possibly from his wallpaper, not assassins. The green dye, popular at the time, released toxins in humid air. His empire crumbled while his walls slowly killed him. Sometimes, history's greatest downfall starts with simple decoration. Chapter 19. King Charles II kept a laboratory under his palace. He wasn't just royal, he was obsessed with science. Notes show experiments with mercury, magnets, and human blood. The merry monarch was secretly an early chemist. His curiosity bridged 2 worlds, one ruled by crowns, the other by discovery. Chapter 20. Ancient Chinese emperors drank mercury for immortality. Archaeologists found their bones laced with the element, glowing under X-ray. They believed it preserved the soul, but it corroded the body. Ironically, the very metal they trusted to live forever ended their dynasties early. Immortality, it seems, was always fatal. Chapter 21. The Vatican once hid an astronomical observatory inside its walls. Built in the 1500s, it secretly tracked comets and eclipses while the Church condemned astronomy. Historians later found that the Pope's scholars used coded language to disguise their findings. Science and faith danced in secrecy, proof that curiosity never bows to power. Chapter 22. Queen Elizabeth II's handbag wasn't fashion, it was a code. Palace insiders revealed she used it to signal her staff. Bag on the left meant stay longer. Bag on the right, get me out. Even in public grace, she spoke through symbols. Royal etiquette was a quiet language of survival. Chapter 23. The Ottoman sultans had a secret whisper chamber. Engineers found hidden vents connecting the sultan's room to his advisors. The acoustics allowed eavesdropping on any plot. The architecture itself became a weapon of trust and betrayal. Every conversation was a risk, every word a potential death sentence. Chapter 24. When Cleopatra's tomb was built, her architects used magnetic stones aligned to the Earth's poles. Archaeologists confirmed this alignment with digital compasses. Ancient Egypt mastered geomagnetism long before compasses existed. Her resting place wasn't random. It was a map, written in invisible energy lines that science only now decodes. Chapter 25. The French crown jewels once included a blue diamond so vivid. Scientists now know it fluoresces red under UV light. That same diamond, stolen and recut, became the Hope Diamond, believed to be cursed. But physics explains it. Boron atoms in its lattice. The glow wasn't magic. It was chemistry misunderstood as fate. Chapter 26. During the Black Death, royal doctors wore bird-like masks filled with herbs. Modern studies show some of those herbs, like rosemary and clove, had mild antibacterial properties. Science later confirmed what superstition once guessed. The mask saved more lives than it scared. Even fear can evolve into wisdom. Chapter 27. Emperor Nero's gardens glowed at night, not by candlelight, but by science. Excavations found traces of calcium sulfide, a phosphorescent mineral coating the statues. They absorbed sunlight by day and shone faintly by night. The Mad Emperor's haunted garden was actually Rome's first experiment in luminous art. Chapter 28. Queen Isabella of Castile used a secret cipher to communicate with Columbus. Historians cracked it only in 2018, revealing her doubts about his voyage. She funded him anyway, but left hidden warnings in code. The letters show that royal risk was rarely faith alone. It was calculation masked as destiny. Chapter 29. Ancient Mayan kings performed bloodletting rituals under starlight. Archaeologists using satellite mapping discovered the temples were aligned with Venus cycles. The rituals weren't random. They followed celestial math. What looked like superstition was actually astronomy disguised as devotion. Royalty ruled with both blade and star. Chapter 30. Tsar Peter the Great kept a collection of preserved human heads. Scientists later studied them and found they were used for early anatomy lessons. He wasn't cruel for spectacle. He was obsessed with understanding life. In a time when death ruled fear, Peter studied it to conquer ignorance. Knowledge demanded the macabre. Chapter 31. King Louis XV had a secret tunnel under Versailles leading to his mistress's quarters. Archaeologists confirmed its structure with ground-penetrating radar. It wasn't just scandal, it was strategy. The tunnel allowed him to meet without spies or gossip. Even kings needed escape routes, not from war, but from their own court. Chapter 32. Queen Nefertiti's famous bust isn't perfectly symmetrical. Laser scans show one side subtly older, more wrinkled. Hidden under paint. Scientists believe the sculptor Thutmose softened her flaws to immortalize her beauty. Art became propaganda, perfection engineered by limestone and brush. Even in death, image ruled over truth. Chapter 33. The Roman Emperor Caligula declared war on the sea. He ordered his soldiers to collect seashells as spoils of victory. Historians thought it madness, until recent findings suggest it was symbolic. The shells represented Neptune's domain, showing Rome's power extended even to the gods. Absurdity was his language of dominance. Chapter 34. King George III's madness wasn't divine punishment, it was arsenic poisoning. Hair samples tested in modern labs revealed toxic levels, likely from his medicine. The Mad King of history was actually a victim of 18th century science. His tragedy wasn't insanity, it was chemistry gone wrong. Chapter 35. Queen Cleopatra's perfume was recreated from residues found in ancient jars. Chemists discovered a blend of myrrh, cinnamon, and cardamom oil. When heated, it produced a hypnotic scent lasting for days. It wasn't just fragrance, it was power. Her allure was science in disguise, chemistry turned into charm. Chapter 36. The Palace of Versailles was powered by secret hydraulic systems, centuries ahead of its time. Engineers used gravity-fed fountains and underground pumps stretching for miles. The king's gardens danced with water before electricity existed. Royal beauty was built on pure physics and mathematical genius. Chapter 37. Queen Victoria's private letters reveal she despised electricity when first introduced. She believed it disturbed her sleep. Ironically, her reign became known as the Age of Invention. The queen who feared progress ruled the most innovative century. History loves its paradoxes. Chapter 38. In ancient Korea, the royal astronomers predicted eclipses with stunning accuracy. Recently decoded manuscripts show trigonometric methods centuries before Europe used them. The kings claimed it was divine knowledge, but behind it was raw science. The heavens bowed not to gods, but to geometry. Chapter 39. King Edward VIII's abdication wasn't just love, it was espionage. Declassified documents show intelligence agencies feared his ties to Nazi officials. The love story sold to the public hid a darker truth. His exit saved the monarchy from political collapse disguised as romance. Chapter 40. The crown jewels contain stones older than Earth's continents. Geologists traced some diamonds' carbon origins to 3.5 billion years ago. Royals wear time itself, condensed under pressure. Every sparkle is a reminder that power fades, but nature endures longer than any throne ever will. Chapter 41. King Solomon's mines might have been real after all. Excavations in southern Israel found massive copper smelting sites dating to his reign. Chemical residues match the biblical description of red gold. What was once legend now stands on layers of molten truth, where faith and geology finally meet. Chapter 42. Queen Elizabeth I's letters glow under UV light. Scientists discovered she used invisible ink made from citrus acid and alum. The Queen's words reappeared only when heated, a secret method centuries before spycraft had a name. Her brilliance wasn't only in rule, it was in written shadows. Chapter 43. The Ming Dynasty's royal armor contained silk layers stronger than steel. Modern tests proved tightly woven silk could deflect arrows and slow bullets. What looked like luxury was battlefield innovation. The emperor's warriors fought wrapped in elegance and science, protection disguised as art. Chapter 44. King Henry VII's royal court brewed its own energy drink. Records mention a potion of honey, vinegar, and herbs used to treat fatigue. Chapter 45. The Russian Tsars used meteorite metal in their ceremonial swords. Spectrographic analysis revealed high nickel content, impossible for earth-forged steel. They literally wielded fragments of the cosmos, symbols of divine right made from fallen stars. Science confirms what myths only whispered. Chapter 46. Queen Anne of Denmark had a fascination with magnets. Her jewelry contained lodestones that reacted to iron, stunning guests. Historians now call her an early experimenter in magnetism. Her curiosity turned fashion into physics, centuries before anyone understood the invisible forces that shaped the world. Chapter 47. The Palace of Knossos in Crete had plumbing more advanced than medieval Europe. Archaeologists uncovered terracotta pipes capable of hot and cold water flow. Ancient royalty lived cleaner, smarter, and more scientifically than most future empires. Progress, it seems, can move backward through time. Chapter 48. King Richard III's skeleton revealed the truth about his legend. DNA and carbon dating proved he had scoliosis, but no deformity of spirit. The Crooked King was a victim of political propaganda. Science rewrote his story, turning villainy back into humanity. Chapter 49. Queen Hatshepsut ruled Egypt disguised as a man. CT scans of her mummy revealed traces of heavy perfume oil that contained carcinogens. Her makeup and scent, symbols of divine kingship, poisoned her slowly. Power demanded sacrifice. Beauty became lethal devotion. Chapter 50. In the Tower of London, secret graffiti from imprisoned nobles was discovered. Laser mapping showed hidden inscriptions invisible to the eye. Some were complex geometric designs, possibly coded prayers or maps. Even in chains, science and spirit blended into rebellion carved in stone. Chapter 51. The Mayan royal astronomers built observatories that tracked Venus with a precision unmatched for a millennium. When archaeologists compared their data to NASA's models, the numbers nearly matched. Their kings ruled not by sword, but by sty. Power for them was written in the movement of light. Chapter 52. Queen Elizabeth II's corgis weren't mere pets. They were a genetic legacy. Scientists traced their lineage to a single Pembroke Welsh corgi bred in 1933. Each generation was meticulously recorded, almost royal in its own right. Her dogs became a living timeline of monarchy and loyalty intertwined. Chapter 53. King Ramses II's mummy still carries traces of ancient perfume. Chemical tests identified frankincense and cedar oil absorbed into his wrappings. The scent of divinity was meant to preserve his soul through eternity. Thousands of years later, science caught the fragrance of immortality. Chapter 54. The Habsburg dynasty's portraits all share a peculiar jawline. Geneticists confirmed it, an inherited deformity caused by centuries of inbreeding. What painters once glorified as royal strength was actually a mutation. The face of power was sculpted not by destiny, but by DNA. Chapter 55. Queen Cleopatra's ships used sails dyed in Tyrian purple, a pigment made from crushed sea snails. It took thousands for a single cloak. Modern chemists discovered the pigment changes color in sunlight, shimmering between blue and red. Her fleet didn't just sail, it glowed. Power had a wavelength. Chapter 56. In medieval Persia, royal physicians used honey and copper mixtures to heal wounds. Centuries later, science proved both antibacterial. The king's miracle balm wasn't magic, it was chemistry far ahead of its time. Empires rise and fall, but knowledge quietly survives. Chapter 57. King Ludwig II of Bavaria built castles inspired by optical illusions. Engineers studying Neuschwanstein found mirrored halls that played with perspective and light. He turned architecture into dream physics, a world your reality bent to imagination. Madness and genius often share the same foundation. Chapter 58. Queen Mary I of England was buried wearing a ring containing her mother's portrait. X-ray scans revealed it hidden beneath enamel. The queen who burned for faith still clung to love, even in death. Jewelry became memory, sealed in gold and silence. Chapter 59. The Mongol royal banners were woven with horsehair, chosen for static charge. When they waved in battle, the fibers crackled with sparks under dry air. Soldiers believed it was a sign from the sky. Science calls it electricity. Belief called it destiny. Chapter 60. Ancient Ethiopian royalty brewed coffee as a sacred ritual. Residue analysis of clay cups found caffeine traces 1,000 years old. It wasn't just a drink. It was divine focus. Their priests drank before ceremonies to speak with clarity. Energy, it seems, was worshipped long before it was sold. Chapter 61. The last Tsarina of Russia wore bracelets filled with hidden cyanide capsules. Historians confirmed the jewelry's hollow compartments through X-ray imaging. It wasn't vanity, it was a fail-safe. Royals lived knowing loyalty could collapse overnight. Even elegance had an escape plan. Chapter 62. King George IV's palace walls were painted with crushed beetles. Scientists discovered cochineal pigment, the same chemical used in modern red dyes. Each royal hall shimmered with millions of insects ground to dust. Beauty in the royal world was often built on quiet brutality. Chapter 63. Queen Cleopatra's library in Alexandria wasn't just scrolls. It contained glass prisms. Archaeologists believe they were early optical tools used to study sunlight. The Queen's scholars bent light centuries before Newton maimed the spectrum. Knowledge, once burned, still glows through fragments of glass. Chapter 64. Emperor Akbar of India built a hall of mirrors with panels that reflected candlelight infinitely. Physicists recreated it, finding near-perfect angles for endless reflection. His palace turned fire into eternity. Royalty often sought divinity, but sometimes they built it with geometry. Chapter 65. King Henry VIII's armor workshop forged blades tempered with bone dust. Metallurgists studying residues confirmed traces of calcium and phosphorus. It made the steel flexible yet strong. Myths said the swords had souls. Science says they had chemistry. The difference is only in belief. Chapter 66. Queen Elizabeth I's pearls were soaked in vinegar before she wore them. Chemists explain that mild acid restored their luster. The Queen used science to maintain power's illusion, shining brighter when the empire needed hope. Sometimes, leadership is just the art of perfect reflection. Chapter 67. The Aztec emperors used obsidian mirrors for divination. Modern analysis reveals their polished surfaces acted like optical telescopes, reflecting light with precision. They saw visions not from gods, but from physics. Ancient superstition was often just early science misunderstood. Chapter 68. King Louis XVI tried to escape France disguised as a servant. Forensic handwriting experts later matched his forged papers, signed with his non-dominant hand, to avoid suspicion. The science of handwriting exposed his disguise centuries later. Even kings can't outrun their own penmanship. Chapter 69. Queen Victoria's crown contained a sapphire once believed to cure eye disease. Geologists later identified it as corundum, reflecting blue light known to soothe optical nerves. She wore faith on her forehead, unaware that science partly agreed. Myth and medicine often share the same hue. Chapter 70. Pharaoh Akhenaten's statues depict an elongated skull and narrow chest. Genetic testing on his remains revealed Marfan syndrome, explaining the deformities. What was once seen as divine beauty was human fragility. Even gods in gold were bound by biology. Chapter 71. The British royal family once stored their crown jewels in a biscuit tin during World War II. Declassified records show they were hidden beneath Windsor Castle to prevent Nazi theft. The world's most priceless gems sat in a cookie box. Royal power reduced to humble safety. Chapter 72. Emperor Nero's palace ceiling could rain perfume. Archaeologists uncovered bronze piping designed to spray scented mist. The mechanism used water pressure and rose oil, an ancient form of aromatherapy. Decadence wasn't random. It was engineered luxury powered by physics. Chapter 73. Queen Cleopatra's eyeliner contained galena, a lead-based mineral. Ironically, it helped prevent eye infections by blocking UV light and bacteria. Her beauty routine doubled as medicine. Ancient glamour was sometimes scientific armor. The secret was health hidden in style. Chapter 74. King Charles I's death mask preserved his exact features minutes after execution. 3D scans reveal signs of stress and exhaustion, not fear. Historians now view it as an anatomical record, an unwilling study in human resilience. Even in death, monarchy was documented like science. Chapter 75. Emperor Qin Shi Huang's tomb contains rivers of liquid mercury. Soil tests confirm abnormally high levels of the metal, matching ancient texts. He sought eternal life through alchemy, but the fumes would have killed anyone inside. Immortality remains mankind's most poisonous dream. Chapter 76. Queen Victoria's wedding dress started a global trend for white gowns. But forensic textile analysis shows her fabric contained arsenic bleach, making it dangerously toxic. The color of purity was chemically lethal. Royal fashion has always come with hidden costs. Chapter 77. King George V banned garlic in Buckingham Palace. Historians once mocked the rule, but modern science explains why. It masks human scent, disrupting dogs' ability to track intruders. Even etiquette had a tactical edge. Clean breath became a matter of security. Chapter 78. The French Queen Marie Antoinette kept a small telescope beside her bed. Documents show she charted moon phases to predict moods and sleep. Modern chronobiology confirms lunar light affects circadian rhythm. Even amidst luxury, she sought calm in celestial science. Chapter 79. The Great Pyramids were aligned to true north with incredible accuracy. Modern satellite data proves less than 1/15 of a degree of error. Ancient engineers used stars as compasses long before magnetic tools existed. Royal tombs doubled as cosmic instruments. Chapter 80. King Tut's dagger was made from meteorite iron. Spectroscopy confirmed its extraterrestrial origin, rich in nickel and cobalt. The blade from the heavens symbolized divine right, literally forged in the stars. Power, it seems, was written in cosmic metal. Chapter 81. Queen Elizabeth I owned a gown that changed color under candlelight. Historians found it was woven with silk threads coated in mica dust. When light hit the fabric, it shimmered from silver to gold. The illusion was pure physics, royal magic crafted by minerals. Chapter 82. Emperor Augustus of Rome used volcanic ash in construction. Modern scientists discovered this material, called pozzolana, makes concrete self-healing when exposed to moisture. That's why Roman structures still stand today. His empire crumbled, but his chemistry endured. Chapter 83. The British royal family once employed a royal astronomer to choose wedding dates. He used planetary alignment charts, but later analysis shows many choices coincided with weather stability patterns. Astrology disguised as early meteorology, superstition hiding science. Chapter 84. Pharaoh Ramses III's mummy revealed his throat was slit. DNA forensics identified multiple attackers, proving a harem conspiracy. The so-called divine king died not by fate, but by politics and biology. Even gods could bleed from human ambition. Chapter 85. Queen Victoria's diaries mention a talking photograph. In 1898, Edison sent her a phonograph prototype that recorded her voice. Modern sound restoration retrieved faint traces of speech. The Queen's words, once lost to time, now whisper again through science. Chapter 86. King Louis XVI had an early refrigeration chamber. Engineers found copper-lined cabinets filled with salt and ice circulation systems. Long before electricity, the French court chilled wine using thermodynamics. Royal indulgence often drove invention faster than need. Chapter 87. Emperor Akihito of Japan personally studied marine biology. His published papers identified new fish species. A monarch by birth. A scientist by passion, he turned royal curiosity into academic legacy. Few crowns have ever peered so deeply beneath the sea. Chapter 88. Queen Elizabeth II secretly learned Morse code during World War II. Training records show she could send and receive messages at military speed. Behind pearls and etiquette, she was wartime intelligence. Her composure carried the rhythm of coded defiance. Chapter 89. Tsar Nicholas II's daughters carried cyanide needles sewn into their corsets. Forensic textile research confirmed hidden pockets lined with glass vials. They feared capture more than death. Even royal silk became survival gear in an empire unraveling. Chapter 90. The Taj Mahal glows blue under moonlight. Spectrometric analysis found the marble scatters short wavelengths of light, creating that ethereal hue. It wasn't magic or romance. It was physics performing poetry. Love, carved in stone, illuminated by science. Chapter 91. King Henry V's armor bore traces of silver nitrate, used to polish and disinfect wounds. Metallurgists discovered microscopic residue embedded in the steel. His battlefield brilliance wasn't only courage, it was chemistry. Science quietly guarded him long before medicine had names. Chapter 92. Queen Cleopatra's barge supposedly smelled like roses miles away. Archaeologists recreated her perfume formula from ancient jars: frankincense, myrrh, and cinnamon oil. The scent's diffusion matched wind studies of the Nile. Her entrance wasn't myth. It was stagecraft built on science and scent. Chapter 93. King Louis XIV's wigs hid more than vanity. They masked lice infestations. Forensic comb analysis revealed traces of insect powder laced with mercury. The Sun King shimmered under poison dust, his splendor laced with danger. Elegance, again, came with a cost. Chapter 94. The Roman Emperor Claudius suffered tremors historians mocked as weakness. DNA from bone fragments points to essential tremor, a hereditary neurological condition. His intellect thrived despite his body's rebellion. The empire's survival once rested in trembling hands. Chapter 95. Queen Victoria's sapphire engagement ring inspired generations, but it also reflected new science. Gemologists identified trace titanium, creating its deep blue hue. In an age before X-rays, she unknowingly wore atomic art. Love under a microscope becomes physics with feeling. Chapter 96. King Tut's golden mask contains microscopic solder seams made with arsenic-based flux. Modern metallurgists confirmed this ancient innovation allowed perfect joins invisible to the eye. Egypt's artisans achieved near-modern precision using toxic genius. Beauty, built with danger, endures the ages. Chapter 97. Emperor Nero's emerald lens was found near his stage. Optical tests prove it magnified the arena, acting as the world's first sunglass. He watched gladiators through tinted science. Even vanity occasionally invents technology. Chapter 98. Queen Mary of Scots embroidered hidden political messages into her tapestries. Infrared imaging revealed stitched ciphers beneath decorative threads. Her rebellion lived in color and code. Needlework became resistance disguised as art. Chapter 99. The Aztec Emperor Moctezuma's gold throne contained tiny quartz inlays. When struck by light, they glowed faintly due to piezoelectric effect, pressure creating current. Their priests called it divine. Physics calls it charge. Faith and force intertwined in gold. Chapter 100. The royal crowns of history all share one truth: the science of illusion. Every gem bends light. Every metal manipulates reflection. Power was always the trick of optics, turning physics into authority. And in every throne room, science quietly bowed beneath the shine of myth. Every crown hides a shadow, every throne a secret. Behind the gold and glory, history is written not by kings, but by those who dared to look closer. And now you know the truths they tried to bury.